My name is Kira, CEO of UncutRituals, and this is my story. Being an entrepreneur and owning my own business has always been something I wanted to do. I have always felt unfulfilled and unaccomplished in the traditional 9-to-5 way of making a living. I didn't know how I was going to reach that goal while being a mother of 2 and when no one in my circle had the same aspirations as me, and also facing a situation that I could have never imagined or prepared for. I was born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. The neighborhood I grew up in was for the most part close-knit. I had a lot of family throughout the neighborhood from both my mom and dad's side of the family. On the other hand, there was drugs and violence. I have always had a sense of independence and wanted my own, so as soon as I was able to get a job, I did. I worked so many different jobs throughout my teens and early 20s. I finally settled into the mortgage industry permanently after having my second child. Having an urge to finally get a career I would love and retire from, I started school part-time to become a paralegal. After taking a few classes and researching more, I realized that once I finished school and started this career, I would be making less than I already was at my job. So I changed majors, and I did this a few times over the years as I would always get bored with a new career choice, or realize that it would still put me in a building for 8 hours a day. My biggest fear was and still is getting up, going to work every day, counting down the hours and days until the weekend. That is not living. I continued to work in the mortgage industry, even moving up and making in the 6-figure range, but I still felt out of place. I knew not to have all my eggs in one basket, so I found other sources of income. I invested in a few different things, including buying into a commercial cleaning franchise. This way I could give my son a job now that he was working age. I was doing good financially, better than I had ever done, and then the company laid us off. My next position in mortgage, I decided would be my last. I would not allow my destiny to be in anyone else's hands, so I set a date to leave for good, and within that time frame, I would work out how I would still maintain my household and start a full-time business. I was scared, but I felt like I had to take the risk. 1 month before I reached the deadline to leave that job, my association with someone caused me to be arrested, and I spent 3 months in the county jail. There I was in my mid-30s, never in any trouble with the law, in jail, away from my kids, and my life as I knew it. Instead of me adapting to the victim mindset, I looked for the message. I looked for the lesson in the situation. I knew that this situation had a blessing in it, no matter what it looked like. When I was released, I immediately started looking for a job. I would get hired, and then once they did the background check, they would rescind the offers. I had not been convicted of any crime, but because they saw an open case on my background, they would not hire me. My homegirl Ashley owned a residential cleaning business, and one day while helping her with a property, I told her about the struggles I'd been having with my job search. But I also told her that it may be a sign that I shouldn't be looking for a job at all. She said, "Well, why don't you reopen your cleaning business?" She had a point, so I wrote out a plan on how I would reopen and did lots of research, from reading books to watching tons of YouTube videos on starting independently this time, because I didn't like the way the franchise went before. I still needed cash, so I continued to look for a job, but this time with the sole purpose of funding my business. I applied for one position with this temp agency, and when I went in and the woman took a look at my resume, she was impressed. and I ended up with a different position that paid more than the position I was seeking. My resume got me that job. They didn't do a background check or anything. God did that. That feeling of hating the 9-to-5 concept came back almost immediately. But I had one goal and I was going to reach it. During that time, I began to learn more about your subconscious mind and how it works. On Instagram one day scrolling, this big-haired woman named Abina Saran was talking about a free recording she had to help with mindset. I downloaded it and began to listen to it every day as instructed. It brought me a sense of calmness and peace. 5 months into that job, I put in my notice and left. I hired Abina as my coach once I put in my 2-week notice to ensure I had someone to hold me accountable. She gave me a deeper understanding of how the mind works and encouraged me to start paying more attention to how places, people, and things made me feel after the encounter. Within a few months of taking off with my cleaning business, I was now hiring employees. It happened fast and I was happy just to be finally a full-time entrepreneur. I started preparing for the new year and the direction in which I wanted my business to go, and when 2020 came, I was ready. I joined the cleaning mentor group ran by a 20-plus year vet named Michael Race. I started a new marketing strategy and it was working. Then coronavirus and the lockdown came. The lockdown is where I had nothing but time to dig deep into who I was, my belief systems, what no longer served me, and what my life purpose really is. It also made me question if I was passionate about my business. Yes, I was happy to be my own boss, but was I fulfilling my purpose? Was I doing what I loved? I had to get very honest with myself, and in that honesty and alone time, Uncut Rituals was born. Uncut Rituals resonates with who I am to the core. I think it is important that we get into ourselves and stick to self-rituals because our true power lies within. I never let any setback deviate me from what God showed me was possible. I learned over the years how to hear over the noise from the outside world and the noise in my head. I want to encourage everyone to go inside themselves, find out what it is you truly want and what truly serves you and the good of others. The universe is always working in our favor, and no matter what comes, there is always a lesson to be learned. We always leave what we think are the lowest points in our lives with more wisdom than we came in with. Starting Uncut Rituals was a pivotal moment for me, and I am excited to assist others in becoming more aware of themselves and the true power that we all hold within. Thank you for tuning in.